Welcome to Leatherwingback Productions, where ideas run rampant and focus must be wrangled. I'm Taylor, your storyteller in progress, and we are back on the big scary goal. I don't even know what week it is anymore. 26, I think? 25 or 26. It'll say in the title. I didn't get a ton done this week, so it will be a short update because I had to go do some summer house sitting and stuff. Even though it's technically not summer yet, but it feels like it. So, I tried to treat it like a writing retreat, where there was the World Storytelling Day, so I don't know if you saw those updates. So I did a little bit of planning that day at least. I did, even though I didn't work on my book 3 draft like I planned on, I did finish the final updates and adjustments for book 2. So, book 2 is done. I just have a few logistics to get taken care of, and I'm in the middle of doing the little bits and fine little polish pieces that make it a little extra special. I did have a request to put a pronunciation guide. I do try not to write makeup words or names or anything for my fantasy, but I do use a lot of Latin inspired words and other language words depending on what I can find and research and their meanings. So sometimes the pronunciation isn't common or something like that. So I did put a little bit of a pronunciation / character guide at the back of book 2. Maybe when I do the Kickstarter update for book 3 coming out, then I will put a pronunciation guide in book 1. I'll also add the maps to book 1 when the time comes. That's another thing. I did create a zoomed in map for the kingdom that the book is based in, Solaris. So I have the map of the whole 7 kingdoms, but most of book 2 happens within Solaris. So I also received a request to have a little map, close-up map, so people knew where things were in relation to each other, which will also help me moving forward into book 3. Just thought. I've already used it to help me plan book 3 out, so it's good to have a map. And then also scene break symbols and stuff. I'm working on that, trying to figure out the right thing to do, because sometimes you just don't want a big space. You want something fancy. I mean, come on, you might as well. So the only thing left is getting the cover art and the formatting done. So I'm waiting on some logistics on that. So I can't give you an exact date, but it will be in the next week or 2. So keep an eye out for book 2. And go check out book 1 if you haven't read it and get caught up. That'll be A Betrayal of Magic and Secrets. That one is on Amazon. You can get it Kindle, you can get hardcover, paperback, and it is on Kindle Unlimited. You can also technically buy it on other online book retailers for a paperback or hardcover copy. I have seen it is available on Barnes & Noble online and a few other online book retailers, because I use Ingram Spark for my hardcovers at least, because they do dust jackets. So far, Amazon doesn't do dust jackets. So, and they don't have the same bookstore reach kind of thing. So, if you're interested, check those out. Book 1 is fantastic, and I would love for you to read it. Book 2 will be out here pretty soon. Book 3, I'm still toying with doing the Kickstarter, which means I have to come up with the tiers and figure out all of the logistics. Again, logistics of the rewards and everything. Trying to figure out what I want to do. Probably will be things like signed copies of each of the books, or you can get the whole trilogy signed or the whole trilogy unsigned, or things like that. And then little stretch goals. Maybe some jewelry pieces that kind of match up with the books. So if you're curious about any of that, or if you have things that you would like to see in a Kickstarter, go ahead and put that in the comments, and we'll go through everything and get that figured out. And that's pretty much all I got done this week. I say all. It's not a small thing to finish a whole book and get it polished and ready to go and publish it. Because right now, it's ready. I could, in theory, upload it tonight and it would be available in the next few days. That's not going to happen because I still want these last bits of polish on it, and I need the cover art and formatting to look just right, because we want things to be proper and look professional, even though I'm an indie publisher, or an indie author and publisher, technically, since I publish my own books. So, I look forward to that. I have a few other writing retreats planned throughout the summer, so hopefully we'll have some good stuff put out there. Novel 90, I'm way behind. I think I'm at like 9,000 words, and the month's almost over, and I'm supposed to have a minimum of 50,000 by the end of the month. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I also generally don't take as long, like a whole month to edit like they have us doing for Novel 90, so there's a little leeway there. I don't really expect to be one of their winner challengers, which is where like you get put in for a drawing to win, I think, some stickers. I think there was something else there, but all I remember is the stickers. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes challenges just aren't the right motivation. But I've also been finishing up book 2. Anyway, I feel like this has been a rambling update. And I'm probably not going to do a lot of editing with this because it is a little late here. And I have some other things to take care of before I go pass out. And because house sitting was also pet sitting, and walking dogs at 7 in the morning is not something I usually do. So I'm a little tired. So they're rambling. Anyway, also, almost forgot to mention, I updated my Patreon tiers. So I have, I think it's 5 different tiers, ranging from $5 to about $20. If you want to go support the Creative Empire, go check that out. There is linked below. There is one ridiculous tier at the end, and I did make a note on there. It's not really a serious tier. It's just something silly that goes with the theme of my Creative Empire. So check it out. You could be a citizen, enforcer. I think I put them as guards, not enforcers. And then rebels, advisors, and then the Shadow King. So check that out. If you're interested in helping support the Empire, go sign up for my newsletter as well. Check that out. That way you can be up to date with all of my projects and everything that's coming out and everything I'm working on. Least professional update yet. Let's have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.